Hello, this is Victoria Duff. I'd like to welcome you all to Latona's open house, and today we are showcasing DragonValeDB.com. I'd like to introduce Adam Becker, the seller of the site. Adam.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. Okay, let's move on here. First, if you're having any problems with your audio or you'd like to ask any questions, please use the software panel to the right of your screen. Now, this is the deal. Annual revenues of $8,500, profits of $8,000, and asking price $25,000. Now, Adam, tell us a little bit about DragonVale.
Well, I'm really a web app developer at my heart, and so I found this need a few years ago where people were looking for information about this game, and so I created this website for it, and it gets just a bunch of people using it, and the beauty of the website is people can go to the website and they can add in their game experiences, and then I tabulate all of that with all the thousands of people that use the website, and then they get a good sample size, and I can give them better results and help them play the game better.
Are there any trademark issues that you've run into here?
Nope. It's just, I mean, it uses some of the images from the game itself, but I give credit for those images to the creator of the game. And then, you know, people can add in some information, but it's mostly, you know, I did this and it produced this in the game. And so people freely add that if they want to.
Tell me a little bit about exactly what the game does. This is a database. How does it interact with the game?
So this website doesn't interact with the game, like it's not built into the game, but this game is a simulation game, and so there's hundreds, almost about 200 dragons that you can get in this game, and the way that the game works is you can earn certain dragons, and by breeding certain dragons together, you might get, you know, an array of dragons. And so the main focus that this website does is people can say, you know, I bred Dragon A with Dragon B and got Dragon D, and then I take all those results, and there's over 250,000 results that people have logged into the database. And so if you're looking to get a specific dragon, because that's kind of the purpose of the game is to collect all the dragons, you look at the specific dragon that you want, and then you can see all the different attempts that people have made and what their success rate depending on the pair that they've used.
Now, do you have any other database sites that provide resources to other casual gaming sites?
There's there's a Gizmonauts database which is kind of tied to this website, and actually the databases on the back end are actually somewhat paired, so they don't the Gizmonauts database will not work without the DragonVale one, but the DragonVale one works on its own, and so the Gizmonauts is part of this. It is another game made by the same people that made DragonVale, so I just kind of made like a sister site to the DragonVale one to so that if people are playing both games, they can, you know, use either one.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about your traffic here. I see that it's been going down over the last year. Can you explain that?
Well, I think as the game has gotten a little bit older, the hype has kind of gone up and down. You see kind of around January there's another hype in the game when they had a big release for it, and I think in general I think this game is this company's biggest revenue, but the popularity of it has died down definitely over the years, but there's still a lot of people playing it, and so you're seeing a lot of the same people that are coming back a lot to the website. So I think in general the game's just not quite as popular as it used to be, but there's still a lot of people playing it.
Are you aware of any new releases that will be coming out?
Well, actually just a couple days ago the game did a bigger update, and so I'm hoping to see how that kind of plays out with the traffic and people coming to the website.
What is your demographic for this game, for this site?
The demographic is really the same demographic that you'd see casual gamers use. So this is a really popular Android and iOS game, and so you're going to see anywhere from teens to older people that are just really into these casual games. And so I see all different types of people on the forums and emailing me. Probably younger more often than not, but you still have some of the older gaming crowd as well.
Now I see that it's primarily, your traffic primarily comes from the United States. However, you do get quite a bit of traffic from other areas of the world, Canada and United Kingdom. Are the forums very active?
The forums is something I implemented probably about a year ago, just to see kind of as a test to see how people would like having that. And it hasn't been as active as I would have liked, but it's had some times when people are asking lots of questions, and sometimes it doesn't get very many posts.
I see you do have referrals from Facebook. What are some of the other?
So that top one you see is a Wikia, and that is a wiki website that hosts wikis for all sorts of different topics. And a lot of people find my site from the Dragonvale wiki over there. When in the early days, when I didn't, when the site was really new, I'd post pretty frequently on Wikia just to get people over to the website. But I haven't had to do that for a long time, but still a lot of people come from older posts and just from other people talking about it on the website over there.
Okay, how do you monetize this site? What are the, and have you ever tried any other monetization methods?
Sure. So all I've done is Google AdSense on this, and the real reason why I've only done that is because, like I said before, I'm really just a web developer. I like making applications. I'm a coder. This whole monetizing stuff, that's really not my gig. And so this happened to work out, but really it's not my specialty. And so that's why I haven't tried anything else. And the Google AdSense was easy enough, and it works out pretty well for me. So that's the single form of income for this website.
Have you ever thought of other ways that you could get a separate revenue stream coming in?
I've definitely put some thought into it, and I think there's definitely a lot of avenues that could be gone down. I've thought about talking to the game company because, of course, as I've mentioned before, their game is not as popular as it used to be. So, of course, they're going to be looking for the next best thing. And so since I have a large user base of their game that play their game, it would make a lot of sense for me to or for this website to partner with them and promote their next game. And I mean, you can also work specifically with any game developer that wants to promote their new game, because the people that are playing this game are going to want to play similar types of games on their mobile devices or on their tablets, and I think there's a huge untapped market for what this website could do.
What is your user base? How many registered users? How many emails do you have? Do you send out newsletters and promotions?
So I don't do any. I don't send out any emails because it's just like I said before. I'm a web developer. I focus on making the site work for them and work well, and I haven't done the marketing side of things very much. But there's over 13,000 registered accounts that are active, so that means they've either connected their Facebook, Google, or Twitter account, or they've verified their email address with me.
Okay, so you do have about how many actual verified emails do you have?
I don't have that number off the top of my head. I could definitely look it up and give it to you in a couple minutes if you'd like.
Okay. Let's move on. You have 9,000 backlinks. Tell us a little bit about where you get your traffic from.
Well, I haven't done any sort of I don't pay for traffic or anything like that. So really, this is kind of more of a word of mouth thing. So, I get people that like the website and they tell their friends, and occasionally I'll post about it on my social media when I make a bigger update to the website, but that's as kind of much as I do to drive traffic.
It looks like you have a lot of computer people, a lot of techs.
I think that kind of just goes with the territory of gaming. This game is a little bit, it definitely focuses on the casual gamer, but you also have I think the people that use this website are definitely the more completionist people, and so they're trying to figure out how to get every single thing, and they want to achieve everything in the game, and I think that might be more of the techie crowd.
Here we have your unique visitors, and it's gone from just under 60,000 to just a bit above 20,000. Is that, again, particularly owing to the game becoming less popular, or do you think it has something to do with you're not sending out promotions?
Well, I think that big jump that you're seeing in July, they had a really big game update, and that month, those 2 months were particularly good. So I think the graph is it's just a little skewed, but yeah, I mean, definitely part of it is the popularity of the game, but also I think since the game is becoming less popular, there's less new players, and so I see a lot of return visitors on the website instead of a bunch of new people that are just trying it out, and so there's not as much of that explosive a few people that have never visited the site before that may or may not come back, but when the game is growing, you just see a lot more of that extra viewers.
Can we assume that your average long-term stable traffic is somewhere between 25,000 and 30,000?
I think at this point that's pretty good assumption.
And of course, one could also assume that if you started actively promoting, then the traffic would rise.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do, like I said, I don't use Twitter a lot, but every once in a while when I make an update, I'll make a post on there about that. But that's not with an account that has many Twitter followers, and that's the only promotion I've done outside of just keeping the website up to date. And so, you know, a lot of people I think either find my website through some of those other backlinks or just by the search engines.
Why did you pick Dragonvale to to de- um, to develop the site about?
The main reason that I did Dragonvale is because at the time when I made this website, I just started playing the game, and I just saw this need out there where people were posting on like many different websites. How do you get this dragon? I bred this with this, and there was no standardized format, and people were all over the place trying to figure this stuff out. And I was like, well, this is totally an easy problem to solve. If I could get everyone to use this website, then we'll have a standardized format, and it'll be accurate. And because with a large enough sample size, then you get better accuracy, whereas if you're reading some random blog on how to get some specific dragon in this game, and 5 people posted, well, I did it this way, that's not a good enough sample size. But in this database, I have hundreds of thousands of logged entries. So at that point, we have a much better sample size, and so people can, assume that those numbers are a lot better.
Do they have access to the database so that they can check?
Yeah, so the website has registered users, kind of like we've talked about, and all that does is it allows you to have your own personal log that's tracked with you, and there's some other features that are opened up, like there's a counter that says how many of each dragon you have, so that you can check them off the list, and then you can look and say oh, these are the dragons that I don't have, so you can know what to focus on. And then there's forums and stuff like that. And so having an account just adds some extra features, but the main database of the website is available to anyone who visits, and anyone who visits can add in more data to the database without having an account. I wanted it to make it so that it was easy for anyone to add data to this, because I wanted it to be, like I said, I wanted it to be significant.
Now, how difficult do you think it would be to add additional games?
So this software that I wrote was it's custom from the ground up type of software, but I'm a seasoned web developer, and I feel like it's pretty solid. And actually, the Gizmonauts website that we kind of talked about briefly earlier is based off of the same code base. So it is definitely, the language on this website, it says dragon this, dragon that, those type of things. But beyond that, the databases and stuff like that and the forms, you could alter it a little bit and use this to build other types of database websites. And I think that's part of the nice thing about this is really this code base is pretty solid and could be transformed to other games.
Again, how does Gizmonauts fit into this? How does Gizmonauts fit into your operation?
Well, right now the game doesn't receive updates from the developer anymore, so it's really just it's a side project for them at this point. And so since they're not actively developing the game, I'm not actively developing that website. I do have some people that still use it from time to time. I think the old legacy people who still enjoy the game even though the people aren't updating it, and because it doesn't really cost me anything extra to run it, I've kept it alive. So it doesn't really add anything because the game developers aren't doing anything with it at the moment. I really only am making it part of this deal because it doesn't really work without Dragonveil, and there are some people that still use it, and it's basically a free operation.
Now, does Dragonveil cost you anything in terms of licensing? Or you mentioned that Gizmonauts doesn't cost you anything, so does Dragonveil?
There's no licensing. The only cost that I have for this is actually, the domain names and hosting the web server and my time.
Ah, okay. All right. I'm going to put up some screenshots that you've kindly supplied us with. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here.
So I provided a few administrator screenshots of how you can work on the website. And so keep in mind, like I said, this is, I kind of built this from my perspective. I'm familiar with databases and stuff like that. So the back end of the website isn't super elegant. It's not anything that was, it was meant for myself as a tool to help me do things. So this screen that we see here is how you might edit a user account. And so really all you can do here is change their password. And that's the only request I get about accounts is, someone forgot their password. And although the website allows people to reset their password, as you can see at the bottom here, this user has tried to reset their password twice. It just gives you a little bit of an account history so that when someone needs some help with their account, you can see, when they created their account, if they're in an active status, if they've tried to reset their password. And like I said, 99% of the time someone just wants to get their password reset. And so easily you can just change it right here for them and just send them an email saying, hey, this is your new password. And once they get into the website, they can go and change their own password. There's a whole set of site settings for themselves.
Okay, what are we looking at?
This is the database. Oh yeah, this is the database backend for the website, and this uses third-party software called PHPMyAdmin, and this basically gives you a direct line into the MySQL backend of the website. And so this is definitely not as user-friendly as some things might be, but it works well for me. And so this literally allows you to edit anything on the website from news articles that are posted or guides or the dragons that are part of the website, etc. And so it's not as guided, but it gives you full access to the website, and you can pretty much edit anything from this PHPMyAdmin. And what we're looking at here is just a few of the dragons that are on the website. And so from here you could easily click on one of the edit buttons there and type some stuff in and get that changed on the website live.
Do you intend to be available to help the new owner, the buyer, manage this website, learn how to manage the website to success?
Sure. So I plan on handing this website off and spending some time walking through what the website accomplishes and how to edit everything on the website, from adding a new guide to the website, or like I said, adding a new dragon. That's the majority of the updates on this website, and even going through strategies on how I get the current, like how I know what's current in the game, just so that they can be successful. And it doesn't really take a lot of work, but yeah, so definitely planning on kind of helping them through that.
What are the challenges?
This is a screenshot of like how you'd. Honestly, the biggest challenge in running this website is keeping it up to date, because the developers have new updates every week or so, maybe sometimes more frequent, sometimes less. And I think I mentioned before there's like probably about 200 dragons in this website or in this game, and so those dragons become available or stop becoming available at certain times. So for instance, like right now they have 4th of July themed, like a Liberty Dragon, for instance, and that's available today, but probably in a week it's going to go away. And so when that changes, I just need to go into this database and say that, the end date is today. And then the website knows how to handle that change in the database. And this screenshot here is just a simple form that you put in. So if there's a new dragon that they added to the game, you kind of fill out this information, and then it would just get added to the website, and then people could start using it to enter new breeding results or just look up general information about it.
I have another question here regarding how you would suggest to better monetize the site.
I think the main thing that you could do is, like I said, I'm just running AdSense, so that's limiting to like 3 ads per page. It is definitely not, you see a lot of these types of websites will have way more ads than that, and I've kept it low because I wanted to have a clean interface and stuff like that, but I think you could easily add in other ad providers. I think someone could easily work directly with any gaming company that wanted to like promote their new game or promote other types of things. I think you could work with a lot of service providers directly and give them a special ad highlight, or on the front page there's really great visibility with that big slider on top, and so it'd be very easy to throw a promotion in there. I think those are the easier seen revenue sources.
Okay, now what are we looking at here? Adam?
Yes.
What are we looking at right now? What page is it?
This is just, this screenshot is how you'd look up a user in the database. And so you can look them up, and it just kind of gives you an overview of what you're searching for. So if you, for instance, have an email address, like if, the most common use case here is like someone will email me and say like, hey, I'm having troubles logging into my account, or, whatever problem they're having. And so I could just literally type their email into that, or copy and paste into that search field, pull up their account, and see if they've like verified their email already, or if I can change the password. And so this is just a list of users that you can search by, so that that PHP MyAdmin stuff that we were looking at before, you could also go through and edit users through that. But because I was getting more requests for user help, I made that into more of a GUI, nice interface. So that's just the search part of that.
Okay, and here we are with the revenues. We see the spike in December. Can you talk a little bit about how your revenues have progressed here?
Yeah, so when I first launched the site, revenues were really low because there was not very much traffic, and but it kind of just started steadily growing. And so you're looking at the kind of mature version of this website now, and what you see in July and December, I think, are due to game seasonality and like game updates. And I think December has traditionally always been a great month, because lots of people are getting new mobile devices, and so people are downloading new games and they're trying stuff out. And I think so historically December has always been a pretty good month for that reason. And then paired with game updates, also you're going to notice with the Dragonvale game in general is they have a lot of seasonal updates. So like around Christmas time, they have a lot of Christmas themed dragons that come out for a limited time, and so people are always interested in figuring out how to get those while they have their 1 week window to get that dragon.
So if you're receiving revenue from ads, what is happening here? Are you seeing fewer ads? Are they paying less? Talk a little bit about that.
I mean, it's pretty much a direct correlation to the traffic with this website. When the traffic goes down, the ads go down because there's just less people clicking on them and less people seeing them. I think, if I did a little bit better job of promoting the website, marketing it a little bit more, I think the traffic would go up, and I think the ad revenue would go up with that.
Okay, let's. Your expenses are ranging from a little over $60 to $20. Talk a little bit about this.
Like I said before, the costs are really just domain names and having the site hosted. And I'm on a flat hosting plan right now, so the hosting price is the same every month. This could easily go to something like using like Amazon AWS, which kind of is more fluctuating. It allows you to fire up new servers when you need them and use less when you don't need them. I just found it easier to keep it more on a flat plan because I have other websites that I also host on the same server. So yeah, I just use a virtual private server for these, and it works really well.
Okay. So when you wake up in the morning, you have your coffee. How do you on a regular day manage the site? How many hours do you put in? What is required of you?
So every day that I wake up, I don't think about this website at all. I know there's a couple other good websites that are really good about updating, and when the game updates, they update really frequently. And so when those pages change, I get an email, and so literally I don't have to do anything most days, and then when changes happen, I get an email that I check, and sometimes the email is just a warning about something that's going to change in a couple days, and sometimes it's something that's changing right now, and so then I can just easily log into the database backend and change it right there. And so probably throughout the average week, I might log into the database backend like once or twice, and maybe spend a few minutes here and there. So I would say ultimately like 10 minutes or less a week.
So if somebody is requesting a new password, does it take a couple of days to get it, or do you do that right away? Do you get notification?
That's also tied to that same email account, and so when someone does email me something, I can deal with it that day, or I can deal with it in a couple of days. It depends on how fast I want to be. This is definitely a side project. Like I have a family and I have a normal job, and so this website is definitely more of a secondary thing. I'm not at the beck and call of anyone that emails me, and so and back in the day I used to get a lot more emails about making sure the website was up to date, but lately because I have this nice email system, I have the website updated normally within the hour, because it only takes me a few minutes to do it. And so I don't get very many requests saying like, hey, the website's not accurate type of thing. And so because the website's pretty self-sufficient, I don't get a lot of emails anymore saying, the website's not updated, I need help with my password. I mean, people can reset their own passwords without my help, so the user requests are definitely lower.
And you would show your email system to the new owner, is that correct?
Yeah, so I pass on, I just have a Gmail address hooked up to all this, and so I would definitely pass that on to whoever bought this, and they would have access to all the historical emails, and I even have like Google, the Gmail has like canned responses that are like that you can use with Google Apps, and so if there's a question that fits into one of those canned responses, you can have a couple clicks and it fills in an email for you, and it's pretty easy to do the emails.
You have nobody else helping you with this, is that correct?
Yeah, this is a solo endeavor.
Okay, talk a little bit about where you can see this site going. If somebody wanted to devote a lot of attention to this site, what would they do? What could this site be expanded to be?
I think the first thing I would do if I wanted to put time into this is, look into some of the other similar games out there that are that fit into this model, and I would, just like I did with the Gizmonauts, I would make another website based off of the same code base, and just put it out there, and then market it a little bit. And I think you could even market it on this website because there's already a good traffic stream there. Also, I think with the game being updated, I still get people requesting new features, and so I think adding some of those new features would definitely keep people around longer on the website, and that's definitely good. Historically, through the website, I've worked with users a lot based off of their requests for the website, like how they would like to see it better, and I've tried to at least address some of those concerns, and some of them were concerns I wasn't willing to do because I didn't think there was enough of a demand for it. And some of the things like the forums, and there's a way for people to find friends in the game through my website, and tracking your own dragons and stuff like that. Those have been features I've added because either I thought it was a good idea, or as a player, or I've had people request that multiple times. So I think adding some of those additional features. I think there's also, we've kind of talked about adding additional revenue streams, and I think that would definitely be worthwhile. The game's going to continue to update because this is the studio's biggest game right now, and so I think also trying to pair with them, I could see it'd be really easy to run contests if you kind of work side by side with the game developers and say like, hey, let's have people submit their favorite picture of their park and have a voting or something, like a community voting type of thing, and just to kind of build more hype about the game and get people over to the website more, which is just kind of an all-around win for everyone. So it seems like the developers would totally be on board with something like that. Just to name a few things, I think that's kind of what I would do.
And these features that you mentioned, they're all part of the site and can be easily transferred to other games, I would think. Things like a forum and that sort.
Yeah, and so all this code that I've done for this is in a Git repository. So I don't know if there's any coders that are listening to this, but if you're not a coder and you're going to hire someone to work on this, it'd be very easy to work with, and it'd be easy to see, what I've done with the website in the past. All that history is built into the repository, and so it would be, it'd be easy for any PHP developer to pick up and go with it.
So why are you selling this site?
I'm, go ahead, Victoria.
Why are you selling the site?
So I've said this a couple of times, and I'm really a developer at heart, and so I'm not a marketer. I don't know how to do that kind of stuff, and so this was a fun project for me to do, and I've enjoyed doing it. But at this point, kind of, even though it doesn't require a lot of my time, kind of getting it off the plate so that I could focus on other type of applications that I like to do, and I kind of consider myself more of an inventor. I like to create things, and so if I could get this off my list and focus on something new, I think that's just kind of who I am. I like to find the next thing to work on.
Would you work with the new owner, since you really know the site very well and the new owner might have an idea for something additional? Would you be willing to work with the new owner on that?
Definitely, and like I said, I think there's definitely a few hours of my time that I would consider just a free thing to just help pass on that information and kind of how the website works. But it's like a contractor type of thing. I would definitely be willing to work with the new owner and get things moving or add new features or whatever they want. And I'm very familiar with the code base, so it'd be quick for me to do that kind of stuff.
All right, we're approaching the end of the presentation. I think I've worked in all the questions so far. If there are any additional questions, now's the time to ask. I think we've hit pretty much everything. So, if you have any questions, please contact Adam Beebe, who is the listing broker on this web property. And Adam, do you have anything additional to add here?
I'm just excited to see the site go into hands that will do something good with it. And thank you so much for your time today.
Well, thank you very much. And I guess we'll just close out the presentation right now. We'll see everybody the next time. Thank you.